Hey there, Elliott McCracken here with soldbyelliott.com. I just want to introduce myself and reintroduce myself to some of you that already know me as your local real estate professional. Now, the purpose of this video is to explain to you a little bit about my background, how and why I got into the real estate industry, and what you can expect from me should you decide to work with me as your real estate agent. Now, I consider Bakersfield my hometown. Although I'm originally from Santa Rosa, California, I moved here when I was about 5 years old and I've been raised in Bakersfield ever since. Now, as far as my educational background goes, I went to Stein School Elementary all 6 years. I followed up with Thompson Junior High, and then I went to Ridgeview for 2 years. After Ridgeview, I went to West High for 2 years, graduated West High class of 2001. I graduated CSUB class of 2007. I stretched a 4-year degree into 6 years. I almost went for that 8-year doctorate degree, but I decided to keep it short and graduate with accounting at 6 years, give or take. After college, I tried to get my CPA. Now, at the time, you had to have 500 hours of auditing in order to take your CPA exam. Unfortunately, I was not able to land the internship or get the job with the CPA accounting firm that offered those hours of auditing. And so I was able to land a job with a nonprofit organization here in town, and I basically did bookkeeping and payroll and helped them basically redo their QuickBooks because there was an issue in the software and it all had to be redone. I was with that company for about 3 years when in 2011 that economy took a little bit of a hit and I was let go. It was a family-run business and I was technically the second accountant, so I was let go, and at that time I became a stay-at-home parent, which looking back was a huge blessing. I only had one daughter at the time. She was about 1 year old, and the original plan was for me to stay home for about a year until she was old enough to go to preschool, and then I was going to go back to work. Around that time I had my second daughter, and I was blessed with a second beautiful baby girl, and I ended up staying home for a little bit while longer. Now, unfortunately, me and my ex-wife went through a divorce, and at that time, I tried to get back into the accounting business. Now, I went on probably about 20 interviews, couldn't land a job. I went from banks to oil industries, anything I could to get an accounting position. And at the time, I was just having a really hard time. So I had a friend of mine, you know who you are. He reached out to me probably at least 6-7 times over the course of me being a stay-at-home parent and said, Elliott, get your real estate license, get your real estate license. So I finally listened to him, and I decided to get my real estate license during that split. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to get my real estate license was because I figured it was going to be flexible and provide me the opportunity to help be there for my kids on my time with my kids and also provide a career path for me in the future. Now, prior to me getting my real estate license, I had had 2 experiences with real estate. Now, my first real estate experience was shortly after college. Me and my ex-wife bought a house together. It's a beautiful 2-story home, and that situation was a little bit rocky. We came into the house after a family had already backed out, so we didn't get to pick colors and finishes and all that, but the issue came with the week before we were supposed to close on that house. The builder did a soft run to make sure all the electrical and plumbing worked, and unfortunately, one of the framers had put a nail through a plumbing pipe and it totally flooded the whole upstairs. We had to wait for a restoration company to come in, open up the walls, dry it out, make sure there was no mold, and clear it for health and safety before we could close on the house. Now, that was very stressful for us because we put in a 30-day notice with our landlord and we were expected to move in at a certain time and be out at a certain time. So my experience with that new construction wasn't the greatest because things weren't done in the right sequence to make sure hiccups like that didn't happen so close to the end. So that was one experience I learned. The second experience I had with real estate was when my dad was buying a house. It actually didn't work out, so then he was wanting to buy an investment property. During that experience, I went with my dad through all the different houses. We were looking for a good house, a good buy, so to speak, that would be a good rental income property for him. And what I learned from that process is basically you don't know what you don't know. We had an agent, she was a newer agent, very nice, but she didn't guide us and protect us the way, now knowing what I know, we could have been. For instance, we made an offer originally at one price. We never heard back for 2 weeks, so then we made a second offer at a higher price. After we made that second offer at the higher price, we finally got word back from that agent and we got the offer accepted, and I went through that process. It was only by chance later that I ran into the seller and asked him, hey, why didn't you guys accept the first offer or even give us a counter? He said, what was the first offer? So that showed me that our agent didn't follow up with that listing agent aggressively enough to make sure our offer was presented. That ended up costing about $10,000 difference in the purchase price we offered. So secondly, during that process, there's a chance for you as a buyer to do a request for repairs from a seller. Now, most sellers are reasonable people and understand things need maintenance and will do most reasonable requests. We weren't even given that option during that process. And now knowing what I know, I definitely feel like we could have been protected better and had some maintenance done, as that home definitely needed some maintenance. Those two experiences gave me an understanding of what it's like to go through the home buying process, both in new construction and in the resale market. My role as a real estate professional is to provide my clients with all the information I can, from home inspections, appraisals, termite reports, anything in the seller disclosures, to make sure all my clients are well informed during the buying process so that they can ultimately make the best decision for themselves and for their families. I specialize in helping families upsize or downsize. It's a very tricky process to help sell a home and buy a home, make sure they close concurrently, and so that way there's no headache, you're not moved out early or too late, and people aren't mad. It can be a very stressful situation, and again, my job as a real estate professional is to arm you with the information you need so that you can make the best decisions and plan accordingly during that process. Home ownership is so important to everyone, but especially young families, to provide that stability for the kids as they grow and go through the education process. I have honest conversations with my clients to see what they can afford, to see what they're really looking for and what their future plans are. My goal is never to upsell you and get you the most expensive home, and I definitely don't want to sell you the cheapest home that's going to make you dump in a bunch of money either. I will be honest with my opinion as I see homes every day based on condition, if I think the house is worth it and what you should or should not be spending. Ultimately, it's your decision, again, as I'm trying to arm you with the information you need to make that decision. When you hire me as your agent, rest assured I will conduct business in honest and fair dealings, abide by the code of ethics that all us realtors are held to, and give you all the information you need, again, to make the best decision for yourself and for your family. I don't disappear after close date. My goal is to build lifelong relationships so that you can come to me well after the close date with any questions you might have, or for any referrals for any contractors or handymen or whatever the case may be when it comes to your house and how to best maintain it and take care of it. So I definitely follow up with all my clients to make sure they are well taken care of beyond the close date. In fact, I pay for the first year's home warranty if I can't negotiate that from the seller, to make sure that you as a first-time home buyer are well taken care of and have peace of mind during that first year. My goal with my social media and YouTube channel is to provide you with the best local and relevant information there is. Whether it comes to buying or selling, things are always changing, and I want to make sure you are up to date with what's going on in the market in case you know someone looking to buy or sell. I am also going to provide you with information when it comes to local events, local things you can do, entertainment, activities that make Kern County and Bakersfield so unique and such a great place to live. I do that and so much more. So with that, I hope you'll follow my channels and all my social media, links in the description down below. And stay in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you or someone you know is in need of a solid agent, someone with a reputation for successfully helping families buy and sell homes, someone who's going to be honest, someone who's going to be open, someone who's going to help guide them through the buying and selling process honestly and fairly, someone who puts their clients first, feel free to pass my name along. Give me a call or text today, or schedule your 100% free, no hassle, no obligation consultation today. There will be a link in the description down below for that as well. Lastly, the only dumb question is the question you don't ask. So do not hesitate to ask me anything regarding real estate or regarding Bakersfield and Kern County. I'd be happy to help get you the information as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and again, please like, follow, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do it all. Follow my videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.